Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm doing a quick walkthrough and review of Crowdsignal, specifically focusing on how it handles quizzes. If you're trying to figure out whether it's the right tool for your next quiz, this is for you. So, once you're logged into your Crowdsignal dashboard, which requires a WordPress.com account, you'll find a pretty simple interface. To create a quiz, I just clicked on Create New and selected Quiz from the dropdown. From there, I gave it a name, which, by the way, automatically generates the quiz link, and then I jumped into building. The quiz editor uses a drag-and-drop interface, which I found fairly intuitive. I could pull in different elements like multiple-choice questions, form fields for name, email, number, etc., headers and text paragraphs for instructions or context. Each time I added something, I just clicked Save, and it felt pretty smooth. One thing I found useful is that you can also attach media to each question, like images, audio clips, or even videos, which is great if you want to make your quiz more interactive or visually engaging. The quiz styling options were also there. Not a huge variety, but I was able to tweak the fonts and colors enough to match my brand's vibe. If you know CSS, there's more room to customize. Then I moved on to the Settings tab. This is where things got more interesting. Here's what I was able to configure. Participant results. I could show results, hide them, or even set a pass-fail score. Restrictions. Now, this part is only available if you're on a paid plan. So in the free version, you won't be able to apply restrictions like password protection, IP filtering, or email whitelisting. But if you do upgrade, there are quite a few ways to control access, from setting up one response per device to adding CAPTCHA protection for preventing spam. For timing, I could choose when the quiz would close, after a certain date or number of responses, and also set a quiz timeout, though that's only for paid plans. I also noticed there's a language section, where I could assign a custom language pack, useful if you're working with international audiences. And once the quiz was ready, sharing it was super easy. I could copy a direct link, post it on social media, embed it into my site or newsletter, or generate a QR code, which is handy if you're printing materials. After publishing, I was able to track responses in real time and apply filters to see where responses were coming from. The dashboard gives a clear breakdown, and it's pretty easy to follow. Now, if you're hoping to export your quiz results, like downloading them as a PDF, Excel file, or synchronizing them with Google Sheets, that's something you'll need a paid plan for. The export feature isn't available in the free version, so keep that in mind if you need detailed reports or want to work with the data outside the platform. So overall, using Crowdsignal for quizzes was pretty straightforward. I liked how easy it was to build a quiz, especially with the drag-and-drop layout and all the different field options. Being able to customize the design, even if just basic colors and fonts, helped me keep things on brand. The security features stood out too. Between password protection, email verification, and IP restrictions, I had solid control over who could access my quiz. That said, there were a few things that felt limiting. For example, quizzes only support multiple-choice questions, so if you're looking to mix in other question types, that's not possible here. Some of the more useful features like quiz timeouts or custom end messages are locked behind the paid plans, which might be a deal-breaker for smaller projects. And while the interface is clean, some parts feel a bit outdated or require a few extra clicks to preview or style content, especially if you're new to the tool. Still, if your quiz needs are pretty straightforward, and especially if you're already using WordPress, it's worth a try. That said, there is another tool that I would recommend checking out: Nuclear Engagement. Nuclear Engagement makes it super easy to generate quizzes for your content, especially if you're using WordPress. With just one click, it can create AI-generated quizzes directly from your blog posts, saving you time while boosting engagement. What's really impressive is that it doesn't just generate one quiz, it can process all your blog posts at once in just a few seconds. That's a huge time saver, and honestly, I haven't seen other tools do that. You can fully customize the quiz settings, choose how many questions to include, and even set where the quiz appears, before, after, or within your content. Unlike some platforms, Nuclear Engagement lets you fine-tune everything, from question formats to email opt-ins and even post categories. It integrates seamlessly with automation tools like Zapier and Make, making lead capture effortless. If you're looking for a more customizable AI-powered alternative, check out Nuclear Engagement. I've added a link below so you can explore it for yourself.